My name is Brendan Smith. I am the Brewing Sailor, and this is another Hangover free review. Let's get into it. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Hangover Free Reviews. I am your host, the Brewing Sailor, Brendan Smith, and whether you're trying to live a sober lifestyle or just trying to cut back on your drinking a little bit, you've come to the right place because this is the show that helps you moderate your booze, not your brews. Each week here on HFR, we look at a couple of non-alcoholic beers and we judge them against the style guidelines appropriate to that beer as prescribed by the Beer Judge Certification Program. If you're interested in those style guidelines, the link to the style guideline we use will be in the description of the video today. After that, I'm going to take my judge's hat off, and I'm going to tell you what I think about the beer, how often I would pay for it, if at all. On today's show, we are reviewing the Cerveza Atletica from Athletic Brewing Company. So let's get into it, shall we? But before we do, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment if you're so inclined below. Thanks very much. It really does help out the channel. All right. So let's get into today's video. Like I said, we are reviewing the Cerveza, and my wife will do wonderful things with editing and put an actual picture up there that you can really see. All right, look at that pour. That's lovely. Okay. There's an older glass here. This is the Lion's Share 3. This is Lakewood Brewing Company in Garland, Texas. This is their 3rd anniversary beer, so that's got to be going back to 2014. Anyway, look at the appearance of this beer. So we're looking for 3 things, all right, on appearance. We're looking for color, clarity, and head on this style. Before I get into that, let's go into what style we're using today, because we're actually using a very different style. We've used BJCP2A many times in the past. That is the International Pale Lager. This time we're using BJCP2B, which is the International Amber Lager. So examples of that style are going to be Yingling, Shiner Bock, Dosa Key Amber, Abita Amber, Brooklyn Lager. That'll give you an idea. So we're looking for color here. We're looking for gold amber to reddish copper. And if you can see that, I think you can tell we've got a really nice copper colored beer. So even Athletic even calls it a light copper. I think that's a very apt description. We're looking for it to be a clear beer, and it's probably hard to kind of show up on because it is a darker beer, but this is a clear beer. If you can see my hand waving behind here, even for a darker beer, you can see pretty, it's got real bright clarity to it. You could read a book on the other side of it if the glass was thin enough. And then finally, we're looking for a white to off-white head, which is going to dissipate quickly. And we do have that here. You can see it's already gone down a little bit. And then as soon as the oils from my mustache hit that head, it's going to actually go down even faster. So ticks all the boxes for appearance. So we're going to give it 3 points out of 3. For those who may be watching for the first time, and for those who need a refresher, the BJCP, or the Beer Judge Certification Program, their style guidelines. So we're going to judge every beer against other beers from that style, so it's fair. And the scoring system is on a 5-category, 50-point weighted system. So as we've just noted, you can earn 3 points for appearance. You can earn 12 points for aroma, up to 20 points for flavor, 5 points for the mouthfeel, or how the beer feels going across your tongue. And then finally, 10 points for your overall impression of the beer. A 25-point to 30-point beer is an average beer. 30 to 35 is a good beer. 35 to 40 is an excellent beer, or I should say very good beer. 40 to 45 is an excellent beer. And then 45 and above is a world-class representation of the style. So we've already looked at the appearance. Now let's see how many points out of 12 Cerveza Atletica can earn for its aroma. So, very malty aroma. little bit of caramel, little bit of like toasty bread crust. They say in the description that it also has uh, a floral and spicy note from that Hallertor Hirschbrucker hops. Hallertor Hirschbrucker hops. Good lord, I'm not getting that here, but you're not going to get a ton of hop aroma in this style anyway, and who knows how long it's been sitting on the shelf, so that may have already fallen off. But I am still getting what I expect from this style of beer. This beer is going to be loaded with Vienna and Munich malt, perhaps a touch of caramel to bring the color up, and the aromas that I expect are coming through and shining through quite nicely. So we're going to give it an 8 out of 12. Not perfect. It's not. It doesn't really assault your senses with a cornucopia of wonderful aromas, but it does the job that it's supposed to. So we're going to give it credit for that 8 out of 12. As far as flavor, let's dive in and see how she tastes. Again, this is a very malt forward style. The Vienna and the Munich malts really shine through. I do get that kind of nice crackery bread crust. Also, a touch of caramel. I really like the malty sweetness to this. It's got just enough hops to balance it out, so it's not cloyingly sweet. I'm not licking my teeth. It's not sticking to my teeth. And they do say that it finishes clean, and I'll take slight umbrage with that. Not much, but a little bit. It's not super clean. It's not super dry. There is a little lingering sweetness to the back of the tongue, but again, it's not an unpleasant sweetness, and frankly, it's to style. The style calls for moderately dry, moderately sweet, and I think it sits right in that wheelhouse nicely. So again, not perfect, but very, very good. We're going to score this 16 out of 20 for the flavor today. As far as mouthfeel, we're looking for three things. So we're looking for light to medium body. Check. This is definitely more towards the medium side. It's actually got one of the better mouthfeels to the style for an NA beer. I've often said that mouthfeel, we have to kind of grade on the curve from NA to alcoholic beers because it's just, you're not going to have the same mouthfeel. But this is pretty close to those Victoria lagers, Dosaki Amber, Shiner Bock, Ziegenbock, all of that Yingling. This is going to be real close to that. They do a real nice job here. This is a really good mouthfeel. We're also looking for medium to medium high carbonation. This will be more on the medium side. It is well carbonated. As you can see, it still does have a head. It's still doing well, but it's not super effervescent. It's not going to have that carbonic bite that you would expect from more highly carbonated lagers. And the last thing we're looking for is for a very smooth mouthfeel. And this is very silky smooth. It glides right across the tongue. It's really a nice beer to drink. So we're going to earn 5 points. It's going to earn 5 points out of 5 here for the mouthfeel. Overall, it's an excellent representation of the style. It really is. It hits all the notes it's supposed to. And while it's not a perfect beer, it's pretty close. We're going to give that a total of 8 out of 10 today. So 8 out of 10, total of 40 out of 50. So it just slips into that excellent category. And yeah, it is an excellent little, when we say Mexican lager, that it's a dark Mexican lager. So if you like Victoria, if you like Shinerbach, if you like Dosaki Amber, this is a great beer for you because it's very affordable, it's very consistent, and it's available everywhere. And if you can't find Atletic in your area, they do have it on their website. You can get a subscription for it. They can deliver it to you on the regular. So before we jump into my personal review, let's talk about 1820brewing.com. Because 1820 Brewers, those guys have been really great to me. We've got some new reviews coming from them next week, some new beers coming from them next week. They are still running a special Brewing Sailor 20 at 1820brewing.com. So if you want 20% off some great beer, head over there, get some great stuff from Portland, Maine. I really like all that Raz that they sent me. The new Vienna Sweet, although there was a little miscommunication there. I thought it was a Vienna lager. It's not. I'll explain that on the review. Great little beer too. We'll be talking about that next week. So head over there, tell them the Brewing Sailor sent you, get 20% off and get yourself some great beer. Okay, back to my personal review. So the home group club of which I am a member is called the Connoisseurs Club of Smoking and Drinking. And when we were first founded in Houston, Texas, 20 some odd years ago, craft beer really hadn't taken hold in Texas yet. There weren't a lot of breweries around. In fact, the only beer that could be considered craft at all was Shiner Bock. So Shiner has become known as the lifeblood of the club. In fact, to the point where members don't even call it the lifeblood of the club. We just call it lifeblood. Now, I tell you that because ever since I had my accident, my DUI, I haven't been able to drink alcohol, but I'm still active member of the club. So what am I to do? Well, this beer has been a lifesaver. This has been my lifeblood. This has been my lifeline, if you will. It's a really enjoyable beer. And like I said earlier, very consistent. Athletic. I know there tends to be a chorus in beer communities where once a brewery gets too big to be cool, they're a victim of their own success. This has happened to Dogfish Head. This has happened to Sam Adams. So I get that, but I think there's also something to be said, especially from a brewer's perspective, for being able to produce a quality, consistent product. Everybody can brew a really good beer once. I just brewed a really nice non-alcoholic beer. And the challenge for me now is, can I replicate that? Well, now think about that on the scale that Athletic is doing it. They're doing it to the tune of hundreds of thousands of barrels per year now, distributing all across the coastal country by coastal breweries. And the product hasn't suffered. In fact, I know some people in the community absolutely swear by their pilot series stuff. So I think we really need to take a step back and commend that, because they are doing a lot of work in paving the way, much like Sam Adams did and Dogfish Head did and Sierra Nevada did for the early craft beer generation. So, where does it fall on my personal scale of regular rotation beer? Would buy again, would drink again given limited options. Okay, never having it again, or drain pour. I think by now you probably figured out this is a regular rotation beer for me. This beer is in my fridge quite often. It's not always there, but just about. I really hope everybody enjoyed the review today. That's all I have for today. I think that's enough. I've gushed enough, don't you? You're probably sick of hearing me talk by now. So anyway, and I really got to stop saying so much. Have to work on that. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in today. Really appreciate all my subscribers and all my audience. If you haven't subscribed yet, I really hope today is the day I earned your subscription. I know about 50% of my viewers still haven't subscribed. So please consider hitting that red subscription button, turning it gray, ring that notification bell, like this video, share it out all across your social medias, and do leave a comment before you go. I love to hear your guys' thoughts, whether I'm doing a good job or a bad job, or if there's a beer you want to see me review. Please let me know in the comments. I look forward to hearing from you. Y'all have a wonderful weekend, and sláinte.